Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to talk about percents for business. In this video we're going to talk about the definition of percent and how we convert fractions and decimals to percent, as well as percents to decimals. And in addition, we're going to take a look at the typical type of percent problems you're going to encounter. So first of all, the definition of percent, percent means per 100. So if you have a percent, such as 30%, that means 30 per 100. We don't want to work with fractions, we want to work with decimals. So 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. So in other words, if you have a percent and you want to change it to a decimal, you simply divide by 100. 2% therefore would equal 0.02. You're just simply going to move your decimal point to the left 2 places. If you have 150%, same idea. Move your decimal point 2 places to the left, so it will be 1.5. If you have a percent that's a decimal, let's say 0.75%, still divide by 100. Move your decimal point 2 places to the left, so 0.0075. If you have a fraction of a percent, you can first of all change it to a decimal. So change the fraction to a decimal, and now divide by 100. To summarize, to convert a percent to a decimal, you simply divide by 100. On the other hand, if you have a fraction or a decimal and you want to change it to a percent, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to multiply by 100. So if I have 0.83 as a decimal, that's equivalent to 83%. If I have 0.002, I multiply by 100, I move my decimal point to the right 2 places, and that's going to be 0.2%. If I have a fraction, let's say I have 1/2, I can first of all change that to a decimal, and now I can convert it to a percent by multiplying by 100 by moving my decimal point 2 places. So that would be equivalent to 50%. 7/8 as a decimal is 0.875. Multiply by 100, move your decimal point to the right 2 places, so 87.5%. So converting from a decimal or a fraction to a percent, we just multiply by 100. And if we're converting a percent to a decimal, we divide by 100. If you're using the textbook Business Math, a Step-by-Step Approach by J. Oliver, you're going to see this definition here that defines percent in terms of portion and base. I have a different definition that I like to use, and so that's what I'm going to refer to. I think it's easier and I like the terminology better. So instead of writing rate, I'm going to put the percent over 100, because percent always means per 100. So if I have 5%, I would put 5 over 100. And instead of the word portion, I'm going to use the word amount, because portion suggests that the number is smaller. It's a smaller portion of the whole, and that's not always going to be the case. So I like the word amount, and I do like the word base. So I'm going to use this. You can use this if you prefer. In either definition, the portion or the amount, that is when you're reading a percent problem, it's the is number. For example, if you say 30 is certain percent of. So the is number is the portion or the amount, and the base is the of number. It's out of a certain number, that's your base. And I'm going to use this formula to do a whole series of examples, so you can see how it's very versatile. We can find any of these values as long as we know 2 of the values. So let's take a look at the 3 basic types of percent problems you're going to encounter. You're going to often be asked to find a certain percentage of another number. For example, find 30% of 200. So the shortcut for that is you can just simply multiply 200 by 30%, which is 0.3, and you're done. So that's fine to use a shortcut. If we want to use this definition, then the percent 30 goes over 100. Now we're asking for the amount because we know the of number. It's out of 200. That's going to be our base. So we're finding the amount. What amount is equal to 30% of 200? In order to solve this, we're going to cross multiply. So 100 times x will equal 30 times 200. To solve for x, we divide both sides by 100. So 60 would be 30% of 200. Next example, 120 is what percent of 150? In this case, I don't know the percent. So that's where my unknown or my x goes. So x over 100. Now the of number is the base. So 120, which is the is number, it goes for the amount. So again, we can cross multiply to solve. So 150 times x will equal 120 times 100. So 120 would be 80% of 150. Again, there's a shortcut. You could have simply gone 120 divided by 150. That will give you a decimal of 0.8, and then to change it to a percent, you can multiply by 100. So it's all a matter of personal preference. In the first two examples, it's possible to use shortcuts to do the calculations instead of using this formula. But when you get this third type of question, it gets a little trickier, so this is where the formula might be more helpful. So 40 is 20% of what? So my percent goes over 100, it's 20. Of what? That means the base is unknown. That's where my x will be. 40 is 20% of that. So 40 is the amount. Again, we cross multiply. So 20 times x will equal 40 times 100. Divide both sides by 20 and we get 200. So 40 would be 20% of 200. The next question says what percent is 60 of 50? And that's why I don't like the terminology of portion, because 60 is our amount in the formula. And if we think of it as portion, we might get confused because it's actually greater than our base, which can happen because we can often deal with percents greater than 100%. So when we have a question like this, I want you to understand that it's not necessarily the largest number that goes in the denominator. It's the base will be the of number. So we're finding the percent. That's our unknown. It goes over 100. Out of 50, 60 is the is number, so it's 60 out of 50. Again, we can cross multiply to solve, so 50 times x will equal 6,000. Divide both sides by 50. And 60 would be 120% of 50. Another type of question where this formula might be more useful than the shortcuts is when you're dealing with fractional percents or decimal percents. So in this example, find 0.5% of 500. So the percent is 1/2. That goes over 100. Out of 500, that's my base. So I'm finding the amount. I cross multiply 100 times x will equal 1/2 times 500. Now divide both sides by 100, and x will equal 2.5. Shortcuts are fine if you understand what you're doing, but if you're a little uncertain, then you can always come back to that formula. Another reason I like using the word amount is because when we're looking at real life applications, amount is a word that we understand in those real life applications. So let's take a look, for example, at percent increase. So if we're told that the price of an item increased from $150 to $200 and we're asked to find the percent increase, I see people make a lot of mistakes with this. They see their two numbers, they start throwing it in the formula, they say, okay, if I'm using portion and base, well, this is the smaller number, I should put that over this, and so on and so on. We need to understand what's being asked here. It wants to know the percent of increase. So that means we need to know the amount of increase first. In order to find that, we take the difference. So there's a $50 increase. So we're finding what percent 50 is out of the base. And whenever you're doing a percent increase, the number that you use for your base has to be the original amount or the original price. So in this case, the original price is 150. That's what we use for our base. So we're finding the percent. So that's going to be our variable over 100. The amount of increase will be in the numerator, which is 50. It increased $50 from 150, so this is the number. You always use the original value for your base. And now we can find the percent. So 150 times x will equal 5,000. We divide both sides by 150 and we get a 33.3% increase. So remember, when you're doing percent increase, you have to put the amount of the increase in the numerator, and you have to put the original value in the denominator. It works the same with percent decrease, so let's look at an example. Let's say that we know our weekly sales decreased from 10,000 a week to 8,000 per week, and we want to know what is the percent of the decrease. Again, we need to find the amount of decrease first. So it will be 10,000 minus 8,000, which is 2,000. So the amount that the sales decreased was 2,000. That's going to go there in our formula. We're finding percent, so percent will be the unknown or our variable x. 2,000 is the amount. And then the base will be the original value. So what did the sales decrease from? 10,000. That was the original weekly sales. So we use that as our base. Always the original amount for the base. So again, this is the amount of decrease, and this is what it decreased from. This is the original value. Now we cross multiply and solve, and we will get 20%. So understand the three basic types of percent problems, either finding the amount or the base or the percent. And once you have an understanding of those three basic percent problems, you can then apply that knowledge to a variety of real life percent problems like percent increase or percent decrease.